Hello, y'all. I was recently on Twitter and came up with this question. Who's the first player that you saw succeed since day one? The player who could be a future Hall of Famer, a future multi-time All-Pro, but you had to see them succeed since their debut. Well, there's Patrick Mahomes, who technically didn't succeed until day two of his NFL career, but still put up the best debut season in NFL history. Of course, there's Justin Jefferson, who burned the league down and gritted on top of the corpse. Then there's Jamar Chase, who, after a lot of fans considered that pick a bad pick and him a bust, literally won a triple crown and sent the Bengals from bottom dweller to Super Bowl contender in his first season. But there's a guy that's going to be overlooked by all of them, and that man is A.J. Brown. I'm so excited to share A.J. Brown's story because it's so fascinating to me, and I got to see the first chapter of it happen in real life. Hello, I'm Owen Hillman, and you're watching Tackles and Checks.
A.J. Brown spent most of his life as a kid in Starkville, Mississippi. If there's one thing about Mississippi's weather, is that it is hot. In the summers, it would go about 90 degrees Fahrenheit average. Sometimes it would even go in the triple digits, and that is because of the humidity. The humidity was horrible. It sometimes felt like you had an extra layer of sweat in Mississippi. I'm from the South, so I kind of understand this sentiment, but it was really bad in Mississippi. In the winters, it was completely unpredictable. One day it would go to 65 degrees Fahrenheit and it'd be sunny. The next you're scraping ice off your windshield at 28 degrees Fahrenheit. That would be below the Celsius, below freezing. You would even see snow in Starkville, Mississippi. It was that kind of state. Living in it probably seemed like hell. But playing sports in it? That is a different hell entirely. And yet, A.J. Brown played both football and baseball in Mississippi. He would play sports all year round. In football, he caught 83 passes for 1,371 yards and 13 touchdowns in his senior season. He led his team to a 6A state championship. As a result, he made the Under Armour All-American football game. He also made the Under All-American baseball game. He had such a genuine interest and passion for baseball. If the cards played out, he could have been the first player from Mississippi to become a two-sport athlete. He could have joined legends like Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson. Maybe even top recruit Kyler Murray, who also shared the distinction for being both an Under All-American in football and baseball. First things first, though, he needed to pick a college. Of course, he could play for his hometown Mississippi State Bulldogs, but he wanted somewhere he can play both football and baseball, and Mississippi State prevented that. They also weren't as interested in A.J. Brown. Head coach Dan Mullen didn't even show up to his house to greet his family. As a result, he decided not to go to his hometown school. He knew this for a while, but he was dreading telling everyone in his hometown about it. So much that even though he knew where he would commit, he didn't want to tell anybody until February. National Signing Day happened. In Starkville High, A.J. Brown was one of many players greeted by smiling fans in the stadium. He was the most popular one, though. According to 247 Sports, he was the 47th best prospect in the nation. He stepped up to the podium. He had a lot of disgust on his face. One of the coaches said he looked like he wanted to throw up.
For years, I'll be taking my time to the University of Mississippi.
Now, imagine growing up and living in the same place for 18 years of your life. Same town, same friends, same school. Seems like you would continue that track record, right? You would guess that, but for Starkville wide receiver A.J. Brown, he disappointed his hometown.
A.J. Brown, the prince that was promised from Starkville, Mississippi, to lead the Bullfrogs to success, was going to their arch rival. Fans turned their backs on him. Friends that he'd known for long periods of time turned their back on him. Some even booing him immediately in that decision. At some point, he started even receiving death threats from Starkville residents, some even towards his family. It was a moment of huge conflict for him. He never ended up playing for Ole Miss baseball. A few months after his commitment, the San Diego Padres selected him in the 19th round of the 2016 MLB draft. He didn't play college baseball, but he played spring training in his freshman and sophomore seasons. He couldn't make the main roster, but a lot of athletes thought of him as an everyday outfielder. Tony Tarasco, the outfielder/base running coordinator, even complimented his swing.
You got a pretty swing, especially for somebody who don't work on it. Your timing is great, your contact point is great. You're not like, okay, get back, step, swing. That's what I see with a lot of football players.
It's some pretty good stuff. A.J. Brown definitely could have been a baseball player if he wanted to. Of course, he still had football to tend to. And he was really good at it. Definitely could have been a baseball player if he wanted to. And he was really good at it.
Pass to A.J. Brown. Caught first down and a whole lot more. Oh, what a move by A.J. Brown!
Fine time. Throws on the run. In traffic, Brown holds it in. Breaks the tackle. A.J. Brown!
Tamu. It's Brown. Turns it inside and will stress to A.J. Brown. Caught first down and a whole lot more. Oh, what a move by A.J. Brown! He is gone. That is... Caught first down and a whole lot. Gets the tackle. He's inside by A.J. Brown. Is gone. Gets the tackle. He's inside the... Is gone.
It's the middle of the third quarter. Mississippi State is behind 10-6, but the Bulldog offense has scored in the last two drives, so they can get back in this game with a stop and a touchdown. But then, Ole Miss receiver A.J. Brown did this.
Keeping it close. We got to make some plays.
Play fake. Tamu in the pocket. Brown wide open. Caught. What a catch. A.J. Brown. Touchdown. There is a penalty flag, though.
A.J. Brown had dealt with criticism, booing, and even death threats for his decision to come to Ole Miss. And now, he's burning it all to the ground. Mississippi State never got within 10 until garbage time, and the onside kick failed, so Ole Miss did end up making their bowl game. A.J. Brown was the hero. A.J. Brown was a standout, but Ole Miss had produced some really good receivers. Elijah Moore, Jonathan Mingo, Laquan Treadwell, and DK Metcalf. And yet here he was, standing among the top of the leaderboard, among all of them. When 2019 rolled around, he forgoed his senior season to try in the NFL draft. Ironically enough, he went in the same class as DK Metcalf, despite being a year older than him. A lot of people viewed Metcalf as the more favorable receiver over him, and it was easy to see once the NFL Combine rolled around. His unique size of skill and speed gave him an advantage. While Brown put up solid numbers, DK Metcalf was otherworldly. At the 40-yard dash, he ran a 4.33. Only 5 players at the 2025 Combine ran faster times, and all of them weighed at least 20 pounds lighter than Metcalf, most of them even 40 pounds lighter. As a result, Metcalf's draft stock was super juiced, despite much less production. Several mock drafts had Brown and Metcalf going around at the same time, but there were some that were leaning towards Metcalf by a lot, and one of them even put him in the top 10. The 2019 NFL Draft was held in Nashville, and the Tennessee Titans were the main spectacle of all of it. Man, what is there to say about the Titans? Well, frankly, nothing. In their first year of existence, they had their talent to be the best team in the AFC and make the Super Bowl in 1999. Of course, everybody knows what happened to them there. They got only 1 yard short of the goal, and they never came back. That devastating loss was the best shot they ever had. And they were so broken, they only won 3 playoff games after that season for 20 years. In the 2010s, the Titans looked even more relevant. They still looked like they were going in the same direction. They really tried. At quarterback, they had a Heisman winner, which is arguably the best hope you can possibly get from college to play QB. They had some talent on the defensive side of the ball. The problem was, they didn't have an exciting coach or philosophy. Mike Mularkey was so boring to watch that he was fired despite leading them to 2 straight winning records and another playoff win, which was the first one in 7 years. In 2018, they had the exact same record from the past 2 seasons. Just as a punishment of mediocrity, they were leapfrogged by 2 teams in their own division for wildcard spots. They had a chance to make it to the playoffs, but their Heisman winner was knocked out in the do-or-die game, and they went home.
Keeps his eyes downfield. Intercepted. Picked off by Kenny Moore. To the 37-yard line he goes.
So the Titans were desperately trying to get out of irrelevancy and trying to develop their quarterback. What they needed was a generational wide receiver. And in the second round of the 2019 NFL Draft, they rolled the dice.
With the 51st pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select A.J. Brown, wide receiver, Ole Miss.
A.J. Brown was selected by the Tennessee Titans to be the number 1 option for Marcus Mariota right off the bat. That is a steep task for a second-round wide receiver. While first-round wide receivers are considered more polished and as a result, they get more receptions, the second-round wide receivers usually have to fight their way up the depth chart. Looking at the list in 2005, the only second-round wide receiver to get over 1,000 yards in their rookie season was Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas's story is for a different day, but let's just say second-rounders usually don't get going until about years 3 or 4. Even Devontae Adams, considered one of the best wide receivers in recent history, didn't get over 900 yards until 2016, in his 3rd season. He was considered a cut candidate by Green Bay in 2015. So A.J. Brown was expected to be the number 1 option for an anemic Titans offense. He was expected to be a game breaker right away. And that is exactly what he did.
Is that true? You think he's under that?
Make way for the Wait for the kingdom, king me, checkmate then repeat. This chestnut checkers, what can I say? I got goat jeans. Real kings do king things. Live like one, breathe like one. Killing shit by any means. Everybody can't lead like one. Nah, is it really me?